Everything started 1 year ago on the 1st of October of 2024. Today is 2nd of October 2025. 1 year ago, I decided to start to paint this series of Chinese Zodiac sign. This was the painting where everything starts. The 12 animals, that it's a 12 years cycle of 12 sacred animals in China. Every animal represents different personalities or characteristics depending of the year you were born. So the first piece was the horse, the most important thing in the composition of all of them, but here it's of course the face and the half body of the horse. Then I start doing all the final composition. You can see here a tree, a female face tree, and there in the right corner you can see another head of another woman that was inspired on Muka. 1 year ago was the Muka exhibition in the New South Wales Art Gallery, and I decided to get inspired of one of his faces. Here, it's literally the world as I perceive it. I represent it as some quartz. As you can see, the texture is, when people cut this quartz in half, you can see all these kind of textures. So that part was very interesting and fun to paint. Always when I work in a piece, I make my palette. It's always the same palette. In this case, because it was my first big oil painting, I started with a limited color palette. As you can see in the next paintings, the palette is gonna change. So this is a very, let's say, unsaturated palette in my paintings. In the order of the animals, Rooster is number 10, but I decided to paint second because, as I said, I'm painting with intuition. So that was the second animal that it comes in mind. And the rooster in the Chinese Zodiac, they mention it as courageous. That's why his expression, it's very strong. I like as well to show you the horizontal line. As all of them, they have the horizontal line. They have a little bit of my visionary touch and my surrealism touch. As oil painting, it feels almost like sculpture. That's why here in some parts you feel like it's even going out of the canvas. So that's the beauty of oil painting. It feels very sculptural, like 3D. I love this rooster because it's strong and it's very masculine. Same this one, but this is the main character in the composition. And I love the richness in the color that you can achieve with oil paintings. When I varnish it, they're gonna get even deeper. They're gonna come back to even more saturation. It's very strong, this painting. I like it. Hey Tatsu, let me show you something, bro. Let's go. When I go out and I do this walk, I always see this horizon line, and that connects me with the 12 paintings, with the series I'm doing. If you see, there is a lot of depth there is this beautiful clouds that I always try to emulate in my paintings. You find inspiration literally everywhere. Everywhere where I see what you touch, even touching makes you feel the texture, and that somehow you're gonna translate it into an image, the feeling of being here, the emotion. It's not the same if I was in the city full of buildings with blocks. I'm sure my paintings will look different. Mind and body connected, always working together. A good body, a good health makes your mind work for longer. And a good mind, a good mentality, it means meditation, rest well, reading, makes your body to work longer. That's how I associate these walks with my 12 paintings of the Chinese Zodiac Calendar that I'm doing right now. This is the third painting. The monkey is sharp, curious, and smart. As you can tell here in this has a little bit more of a storytelling. As this guy here on the bottom, this monkey, it's reaching and he's very curious about this butterfly here. They're very smart, of course, they're very close to us humans. And in this painting, I like to make it a bit more of a visionary art style painting. That's why during the drawing, I didn't plan too much. I just planned the two guys and then let it be. People think that sometimes artists, everything is fluid and flowed, but I did struggle with this painting a little bit while I was doing it. For example, the horse took me 1 month, the rooster took me about 2 months. This one, I think it took me about 3 months. When I was struggling with this painting, it helped me to realize what was wrong, why I was taking too long. And in the next painting, we're going to understand why I was struggled and how I solved certain things. They're big pieces. I love painting big. Since I started, I think that I'm going to continue painting big. Even though for artists could be a struggle to sell them, to exhibit them, to putting them in competitions, I don't care. I love the feeling of painting big. It makes me happy. It makes me stay healthier, prepare as well my body to do big paintings. I know I'm gonna be standing the whole day, moving my arms a lot. So it's good. It's healthy. Paint big. Here we have the rabbit. I like this guy here. It's the principal one. Some other people say that it's this one, but I think this is the principal one. It's a portrait of the rabbit. I studied before on my sketchbook. Of course, during the painting stage, everything changed, and I love the way this one turns out. As you remember, in the monkey, I was struggling a little bit, but then here you can see how my struggle went a little bit away and everything become more solid, less transparent, less confusing. Everything has more shapes, like solid shapes that you can touch it. In the monkey, everything was a little bit more transparent, underlaying one thing with each other. No one it's a favorite or better than the other one. It's just certain stage that me as an artist I pass through and I let it be. You can see new trees, new geometrical trees that I did in order to get a nice composition, contrasting the curly things that I used to do always. I wanted to contrast it. So the best way to do it was to change shapes with something more geometric next to the organic. Because this is more of a surrealistic composition, you can see as well the perspective points. It's going to this vanishing point where it is the furthest away. So as you can tell, even my tattoos, they were made by the great master Trevor Bennett. He's now resting in power, but he's one of my big inspirations of this style. This biomech style was created by H.R. Giger, the creator of Alien. He was the one who created biomech movement, and you can tell a little bit, even in my paintings, it's a little bit of him, of his influence of my paintings. The characteristics of the ox, it's strong, diligent, and determined. But in the composition, this is the main character here. It has a deep staring. It is very strong, same as this guy here. And I like the curly composition, going back and playing with the horizontal line and with the vanishing point. I wanted to start introducing characters. Some people have asked me why I add birds on my paintings, and always I like birds to add, especially in this series, because they didn't even need to participate in the race. They were winners already. Realistically talking, I imagine the birds just looking down and seeing all the 12 animals in the race. So that's why I decided to put birds in this series, even though they are not in the 12 animals. Some of the biomech and bioorganic style. Also here we can see a little bit of intuitive painting of there is something but it's nothing. There are shapes coming from my subconscious. There is just intuitive shapes that help to make the composition interesting. Also, we can see the spheres, one of my favorite things to put. They're like mini planets, mini worlds inside this surrealistic. Without this shadow, it wouldn't look like it's out. Same this shadow of the bird here. It automatically makes in your brain to feel that this bird is out here. Also this kind of stuff and the dark tones makes the other ones to pop. As well here, You can see, you can feel that this, it's going a little bit inside of this rock tree, or these stones that are coming here and then are curling in order to get there. Also these cords here, you can see that the shadows are very important to make certain objects to pop. The rat is the winner, the number one in the race of the 12 animals. I don't know if there is a word in English to say something, someone is sneaky in a good way. Sometimes it's more obvious than other times. Always I'm gonna be trying to put their characteristics of the animal on the painting. You can see how I mixed the use of different characters, but at the same time I mix this abstraction of my style. I mix as well the transparency that I was struggle with the monkeys, for example. You can see as well the vanishing point here, that makes everything to go further. You can see the use of shadows in order to take things to pop. You can see them as well here with these little spheres or planets going around. In the previous video that we recorded, we were talking about especially this area, this part, and I remember I was mentioning a bit of how this sphere was gonna change. And if you go to my previous video, you can see when this was just in the underpainting state, and now you can see it finished. All right, currently I'm working now on the goat. As you can see probably with the other paintings, this one was always on the background. It's because this is my working area. So I put everything that I'm working, I just put it here. The goat is gentle, it's calm, it's friendly, and as you can tell here in this row area, the whole painting was like this, and the whole painting started with these abstract shapes. When I started to paint the goat, I didn't even know that this painting was gonna be the goat. First, this guy appeared because one of the shapes that I did has these triangular shapes with these two things going around, because I like to create my first shapes of the paintings. I like to do big circles, big geometric and organic shapes, and there was when this guy started appearing, and then I was thinking, oh, okay, now there is a goat, I'm going to do the goat. I decided to use another circle that was appearing here, all these shapes, to make the other guy here. In this case, I'm not sure yet which one is the principal one. In this composition are both the principal ones. I've been using different way to paint. As you can tell, this is more smooth. It's more blended than, for example, the ox or the rabbit painting. When I was doing these horns, I realized that this was a triangular shape. And as you know, I love birds, and I saw this triangular shape and I wanted to introduce a bird here. Then I was casually watching a Netflix documentary about the animals and everything about our world, and I was watching some birds documentaries. There were some bald eagles. You see this bird everywhere in Australia, especially here around the coast. You see them picking up on the beans. So every time you go to put your rubbish on the bins around Sydney, you're gonna see those guys next to you trying to steal your food. I saw as well those shapes coming here and going this way. So I took some photos of them because I see them every day. They're very close to you. I just tried to put it here as I kind of feel that was gonna fit in this shape. And for example, right now, talking to you, I see this shape, and I think now that I'm gonna grab this guy, turn it upside down, and I'm gonna put it here. You know, just that's the way I create my paintings, because it's fun and because I'm not thinking about the end result from the beginning. I'm not planning my painting in a computer or with digital help. I'm just letting it be, and I am communicating with the painting without forcing it. So I'm let it be, you know, as the painting wants to come out. I am just channeling information, translating information into the canvas. That's my job. Some friends, some people, even family ask me, why do I paint? Why do I have fun if some people don't? But I remember, and I can recall, since I'm kid, since I'm a baby, and I got pigments on my hands, I remember the feeling of mixing, for example, the yellow and the blue, and seeing it become green. For me, that was like I was an alchemist. I was a scientist. Having this feeling, for me, was the most beautiful thing. The same happened when I was drawing or painting. I just love how you feel while doing it. You know, when you're a kid and you see the kids drawing, you don't see the kids thinking in the end result of the drawing they're doing. They are just purely enjoying and having fun themselves with whatever they're doing, because it feels good. It emotionally charges you, you know, it makes your soul happy. So this is one of the reasons of why I do paintings. If you already made it this far, thank you so much. I'm gonna keep painting those guys for probably 6 more months, maybe more, maybe less. But I'm gonna keep you updated with the next videos. And thank you so much for being here. Please give a like and subscribe, and also leave me a comment if you want to know something about painting process, about the philosophy of how I do it, where this come from, and I'm gonna be happy to answer that to you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay.